Namaste, beautiful beings. Welcome to your Tarot Wisdom messages for the month of May 2026. And yes, so we're coming into May. Oh, wow. And before I do the reading, I wanted to share something really exciting. Well, it's exciting for me. And because it's so exciting for me, I have to follow it because we know, don't we? We know that excitement is the physical translation of being in alignment with your soul's blueprint. So always follow your excitement, whether it makes sense or not, because that left brain is going to come in, with, have you got enough time? Is it going to bring you in any money? What's the point? What if it doesn't work? You got all of that. But that excitement is what tells you. And the other thing that tells me, before I tell you what it is, the other thing that tells me now, when it comes to astrology, I tend not to, look at the astrology in front. I tend to just live my life and follow my excitement, like I've just said. But then on reflection, when I see the astrology, I go, oh, that explains that. So let me tell you what the astrology was, and then you can probably work out what the excitement was about. So on Saturday, we had Uranus moving into Gemini. Now, I only work in keywords. I don't really, I'm not an astrologer, as I keep saying, but Uranus is sudden change. Impulsive change, change that leads to liberation, change that leads to liberation from traditions. Okay. And Uranus is also about technology, the internet, original ideas. I've got a few keynotes down here, things like that. And then Gemini, of course, is communication, ruled by Mercury. So it's communication, social media, talking, writing, things like that. And also Gemini, because it's got that duality, hasn't it? It's like two sides of a story, or three sides, four sides. I mean, different points of view, I want to say. So it's also about connection. And on Saturday, not knowing the astrology, I just had this idea that I wanted to start a podcast. And it's going to be called, it's happening. I've got the guests already booked. It's going to be called Truth and Tarot Time. Guests, guidance, and tarot wisdom. So, as I said, I've got some guests already lined up, and hopefully, I'm going to try and do it regularly. The idea being that I just do a quick card reading, and then together, whatever comes up, we discuss. And of course, everything that we discuss, like always, can relate to the collective. So, what I've just said about Uranus in Gemini, we can see how that is fantastic for the collective, liberation from traditions and things like that, and sudden changes. But also, of course, where do we see it reflected in our own personal reality, in our own personal life? So for me, it's kind of a big change to do a podcast, inviting people on to share different points of view. So the focus will be kind of tarot orientated, of course. But the guests don't have to be tarot readers to to be on, although the first few are. And also students from my Learn to Read Tarot course. So it's just so beautiful to catch up with people and to see how they've taken that tarot journey in their own direction with their own gifts, their own excitement and their own skills and their own interpretations and understanding. So this whole idea of getting other people's perspectives, I think, is really beautiful because I think that's what really helps us, isn't it? In our path is hearing different perspectives and seeing which ones resonate with us and which ones don't, maybe. And it helps us tune into our own excitement and our own resonance, doesn't it? So yeah, look out for that because I'm hoping to post the first one next week. You might want to subscribe and click the notification button so that you're notified when that goes up. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And I've got my old faithful back as well. I changed it because it was like I was thinking, oh, we're all changing and growing and evolving, and it's interesting because we are still in Taurus at the moment. And one of the things I said with Taurus in the messages from the Hierophant for Taurus, I'll put a link in the description if you didn't see that one. And he's all about traditions. So it is about traditions, isn't it? And we've just said Uranus is liberation from traditions. But in that video with the Hierophant, I was talking about which traditions do we actually want to bring back? Which traditions do we want to get rid of? And it was funny because I know this is a so tiny, tiny scale. I'm not talking on a collective scale, but I kind of got rid of all of these because I was like, no, let's change, fresh, something new, something different. Um, and then I just thought, no, I don't know. I just missed the colors. I don't know. I just really missed it for some reason because, of course, it fills my room as well. And I thought, oh, I got rid of them all. But then I was cleaning my car out and I found a brand new packet still in the cellophane and with one in. And I was like, oh, it's a gift from the universe to tell me, yep, you can go and put that back. It's an old tradition coming back. So yeah, that's another example of how these things can be on a collective scale and on a very tiny personal scale. But one way or another, these energies are always relevant, aren't they? Okay, I have one card come out so far. Do we have any other guidance for May 2026? Any messages, any tarot wisdom that to help us navigate with the world, life with ease and grace? That wasn't very ease and graceful, was it? But they did fall out. It was like they were saying, yep, we can hear you. So now I've got four, and they fell out beautifully, and they're face down. I have no idea. Here we go. Oh, one of the things I love about this card, look, I got excited already. It's an interpretation that I haven't used before, but it came to me recently when I was reading this card. A Six of Pentacles. There's the balance. Okay, the scales. He's giving to one, but not the other. Pentacles, of course, is abundance. It can be coins, money, prosperity, and there's a balance to it. So there is financial stability here. But what came to me with the tarot wisdom behind it is conscious exchange. And I love that conscious exchange because he's not giving to this guy, but maybe, he's giving some reflexology to this guy. Maybe he's doing some kind of other exchange. And I mean, I've been doing it. I just love exchanges because you're really tapping into people's excitement and skills. I've been doing one now. I met a massage therapist who wanted to learn tarot. And so she came round to have one-to-one, well, with her daughter, so 2-to-1, tarot lessons in Spanish, which was a challenge and a learning curve for me. And she's a massage therapist, so I've been getting massages without paying for them or paying for them through my teaching of tarot. And it's just beautiful when that kind of happens. It's this conscious exchange. And so it's not, and what's beautiful about it is because it's really part of um, the new paradigm. The old paradigm, of course, was so focused on money and having to make money and then having to make more money and then more money. And then, is that person worth that money? And it got so money orientated. It took us away from our service and took us away from our excitement, which is our service. So yeah, it's this conscious exchange is beautiful. Now, of course, money is a perfect way of making a conscious exchange. The classes that I do in the village now, the yoga classes, I do them for donations. Now, in the past, it would have been difficult to do them for donations because I think there would have been a part of me that may have resented if people didn't pay. How would you feel if you were working in inverted commas? Because you're following your excitement, remember? So you're doing it because you love it, right? But then not to get paid anything. Would that bring up some kind of resentment or some kind of trigger? I think it might. I mean, it did for me in the past. But now it doesn't because people are very generous. because I'm very generous with my time. People are very generous back. But even if they weren't, there are some weeks where obviously it's more than others, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's a conscious exchange. So money can still be used, of course. It's a perfect energy to make a conscious exchange. You know, if you don't have a service or there isn't one that the other person wants or what have you, then of course let's use money. You know, it makes sense. But it's just the point is, it's a conscious exchange. When you do it by donations, people are paying from the heart, you know, and if they can, because if they can't for one reason, or there is one week where they don't have, and then they have to pay, then that might create resentment in them. So it is beautiful. It's very conscious. It's a conscious exchange. And of course, the other thing to look at with this kind of thing is he's giving to this guy, but maybe somebody else gave to this guy. So this keep paying it back. And this is something that takes a bit of practice as well. When somebody's kind of really good to you, you kind of want to pay them back in some way, don't you? And they might not want to receive it. And you think, no, 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 I've got to pay them back. But the truth is, you don't have to pay them back, but you can pay it forward. This whole notion of paying it forward is beautiful, don't you think? It's just because if we are all connected and we are all one in this universe, you are paying it back by paying it forward. And that takes a bit of getting used to as well. I used to feel guilty if I received from somebody and hadn't paid them back directly. That would make me feel a little bit out of balance. But it doesn't anymore because I know that I pay forward. And so it all balances out. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's that paying it forward energy as well. That's conscious exchange, isn't it? When you look at the bigger picture. And it also, notice, it's also the reason that we can do it now is because we don't have that resentment inside. We've been doing the inner work, and that feeling of resentment, I've mentioned twice already, if it's not there inside of you, then you're not going to create it outside of you, are you? So, yeah, it's beautiful. And the scales, now I'm really understanding the scales in this card because there really is a beautiful balance, a giving and receiving beautiful balance of everything, of energy. So, what a beautiful card to start off with. Yeah, life purpose, followed by the life purpose card. So, I love it when a card comes on the heels of something because it really shows us that you know, it's part of our life purpose to express ourselves that way and not to feel resentment. You know, it's a judgment card, and it's the penultimate in the major arcana. So, I always think of the major arcana as the spiritual lessons in life. And so the penultimate one is basically the last lesson, which I think is judgment, releasing judgments. Because when you judge another, how does that feel? How does that feel when you judge somebody negatively? It doesn't feel good inside of you. So actually, releasing all judgments is actually an act of self-love. Because when you look at someone with love and you can see the light and divinity within them, it feels good, doesn't it? So that's an act of self-love. Do you see what I'm getting at? So this judgment, yeah, it's powerful. And any resentments or anything like that, it is born out of judgment, right? It's all born out of judgment. If you release the judgments, there is no right and wrong. And you just rise above it. I mean, you know it exists in the murky waters, in the density of the matrix. Yes, we know that it exists. We're not burying our head in the sand. But what we're doing is we're raising our own perceptions and our own consciousness above that, to focus on the peace inside, and the love for ourselves. Because when you focus on the love for yourself, you are literally creating love in the collective, and the collective needs love. So please love yourself. I mean, people think it's selfish in the beginning, but it's like, it's so the opposite of selfish. When you understand the quantum behind it, you'll realize that loving yourself is actually the most generous thing you can do for the world and for world peace. I've gone off on one, I know. This is Archangel Gabriel. You're being called. You're being called to help others through helping yourself. That's what this card wants to say. Spiritual awakenings and life purpose. Yes, there's a girl that hasn't realized it all. So she's caught, yes, coming on the heels of that. So if you're not following this, Okay, and if you're not looking at the bigger picture, then this is where you're stuck. We have to do something. We have to change the outside world, physically in the outside world. You can't do that. That doesn't happen. Just learn a little bit of quantum to understand that you cannot change something outside of you. You have to change it from within inside of you. We know that, don't we? It's that mirror, literally the mirror. You know, you've got a dirty mark on your face. You want to clean it off. You cannot cleaning the mirror. The mirror could be spotless. You can clean the mirror every day, but you're still going to have a dirty mark on your face. You have to clean it off your face in order to see it gone in the mirror. So this is one of the problems, and it's easy to get sucked into that, especially if you watch the news, whether you're watching the mainstream news or the alternative news. You know, it's easy to get sucked into it, which is why we're still in Hierophant season, right? We're still in Taurus season, and the Hierophant is all about understanding the laws of the universe, understanding how we create our reality. It's one of the chapters in this book, Lessons in Awakening, link in the description, because understanding how the universe is created and how you are creating it through you, it helps you realize the power that you have. And by making these changes and you know these changes and things that we're bringing into the new paradigm, and by this having the spiritual awakening and following your excitement, it really does help you understand that you're not putting your head in the sand and thinking, oh, I'm just going to do what I love. I don't care about other people. It's not coming from a place of not caring about other people. That bit is so clear. It's coming from a place of caring so wholeheartedly for not only other people, but for the collective, for humanity, for your role here in humanity. You came here at this time to serve humanity. That's why you're watching videos like this. That's why you're doing what you're doing. That's why, how many people come for card readings and they go, I don't know what to do, but I know I want to help people. You know, and when we were talking about the giving and receiving, how many of you have overgiven your whole life? It's because you came here to help people. Oh, I've got truth bumps now. You came here to help people. And it's the realization, though, she thinks she thinks that she's got to help people on the outside of her, right? But she doesn't have the resources. Look at her, she's all tied up. She can't see the way it really works. And her goals in life are over in the distance. She can't get to them because she's got all of this. I haven't got enough time. I haven't got enough money. I'm not good enough. It won't work. I've got to do something else. I've got to jump up and down and be angry about what's in the world, all these things. You know, you've only got to look at the map of consciousness, haven't you? I'll put a link into that one as well, to understand that, you know, if you're in a state of contraction, you're not evolving and you're not serving the collective. So we've got to come from a place of love. And that love starts because the outside is a mirror to the inside. If you want to see love on the outside, you have to have love on the inside. And it starts with loving yourself, not loving other people and, you know, depleting yourself. That's not self-love, is it? The more love that you give yourself, and this love, there's so many different ways of looking at. I mean, doing what you love is obviously a part of self-love, but just being kind to yourself with your own thinking. So this judgment, you know, a lot of the negative judgments are our own. It's us judging us. And we've got to let it go. We've got to let it go because if there is no good and bad, there is only our thinking that makes it so, said Shakespeare. Then we've got to change our thinking, haven't we? Because everything outside of us is a reflection of a part of us. So if we stop judging ourselves, it's fine. I mean, and then you think, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, the worst thing that can happen is actually the best thing that can happen, which is that lack of negative thinking is going to get reflected back to you, as in positive thinking, which she doesn't have. That's why she's so tied up. So if you're feeling like this, and it's easy to feel like this, you know, anxious, scared, afraid, not knowing which direction to go in, indecisive, you know, not feeling worthy, you know, all these things that are holding her back. And this is the time to maybe, if you can't see the bigger picture, it is time to say to yourself, I'm just going to be selfish then. I mean, it's not selfish, but if you can't see that, in order to get you out of this, why not be selfish for a while? I bet you've been helping a lot of people who are selfish. So why don't you be selfish for a while? Why don't you say, wait, one night, even if you've got kids at home and you're really busy and you're working full time, one night a week, I'm going to go and do my own thing, go to a meditation class or something like that. You know, it's like, no, I'm going to go twice a week because I'm going to be really selfish. But you'll soon realize that that's not selfishness, because you'll soon realize that your frequency will rise, and therefore everybody outside of you will also get a boost, including your kids and your workmates and your employers and your partners, everybody, right? So it really pays. We're not talking selfish as in, there's only 3 cakes left and there's 6 people. And you're going to have 2 of them or something. I mean, we're not talking that, are we? If we're talking that deep level of, I should be doing things for other people all the time at my own detriment. That's the bit that we've got to change. Because when you realize that you are the creator of your whole reality, and that making these changes on the inside are having a massive impact on the outside. And we can see that in the world, can't we? That so many people are waking up now. And it's because so many people are waking up on the inside and doing what they love. And the more you do that, the more you see that in your world. So you'll get to the level where probably already you're not even seeing it because you're choosing not to watch the news. Choosing not to watch the news, not the mainstream, not the alternative media. Choosing not to scroll and see all this rubbish that people put on. I mean, I don't see that. I mean, if I scroll at all, I just see loads of people doing amazing things, following their heart and following their excitement and learning and growing and enjoying life and creating the new paradigm. It's beautiful. Look, our last card is the sun. It's the most powerful, most positive card in the deck. And the rays from the sun show spiritual guidance. It is about following your own inner spiritual guidance. Sunflowers in tarot represent happiness. Horses represent positive movement forward. And of course, the baby there represents the rebirth of this new earth, the rebirth of the new earth. And this is where, we need to be, we were talking about conscious exchange, but we need to be the change that we want to see. So there's going to be things that you're going to want to do. You might be sitting there dreaming of how you want the world to be, but you've got to bring it into your reality. You've got to do whatever it is that you're thinking. You've got to do it yourself and bring it into your little world. In some way or another. So yeah, I think that's what this card is saying. Follow your own inner guidance. Don't wait because what's the point of waiting? Because the outside is a reflection of the inside. So waiting doesn't do anything. So you're better off doing what you love, following your excitement, meditating, sitting in solitude, silence, and stillness, and seeing what comes up. Honor yourself. Make sure you have plenty of sleep. Make sure you have plenty of time on your own so that you can listen to anything that comes up, these ideas that come in. With Uranus in Gemini now, you're going to have some sudden ideas come in, and you don't want to be reacting like this, do you? You want to be reacting like, yay! So this is the summer. This is a summer card as well, of course. I mean, it's Leo. I mean, in May we'll be going into Gemini, of course, at the end of May. So that's going to be even more powerful, more ideas, more communication, more social media in a positive way. Well, of course, positive and negative. It will be along that whole spectrum and polarity, but it's up to you, isn't it, to use these keywords when it comes to the signs and the planets and everything. Use the keywords and the cards. Use the keywords to create the positive in your life. So the sun is the light. And you are the light. We are rainbows. Our chakras are the colors of the rainbow, not just the colors, the sounds, the frequency, the colors. We are the rainbow, the light that comes in at different frequencies in order to serve us in different ways in our human experience. And from the physical, animalistic, to the creative, to the personal power, to the love, when you realize that there is more to life than the one that you're living. And then you choose to love everything and everyone, love yourself, of course. And that comes up, you then come up into soul expression. You then get insights and downloads. Where you can start connecting with the non-physical world and the non-physical parts of who you are, because you're a multidimensional being. And then, of course, we've got the true connection to source, to the all that is, your God self. Okay, so they're all your lights. They're lights. The chakras are lights coming in. We are the rainbow, right? And the sun card is the light. So this is beautiful. And in the summer, we do have, yeah, I think we have a total solar eclipse, certainly in August sometime. And this would be an August card in Leo. So yeah, that energy is probably starting already. I don't know. Why did I say that? Maybe. I don't think. So yeah, this is the most positive. So I think the message is really clear for me. It's like seek out conscious exchange, make sure the giving and receiving is feeling in balance in your own world, in your own life, releasing all the resentments, releasing the judgments, not seeing the world as right and wrong and good and bad. And just focusing on you and what you can do to serve humanity and how you can rise above that murky water and not to fall into the negativity of it all. It's easy to think like this. And it's so important to have that solitude, silence, and stillness, because a lot of people outside of you, in inverted commas, are going to be reflecting back to you your own doubts. That's what it's about. So often when I've always thought if I come up with a good idea or a new idea, it's very easily met with, well, that's a silly idea. Or is it going to make you any money? Or, how are you going to do that? That kind of, and you don't need to be hearing that. The point is, if you have an idea, if it's come suddenly and it's making you excited, then it will happen. It will happen. You don't have to push, you don't have to strive, you don't have to struggle. That excitement will carry you, and the right people will come at the right time. You won't have to go looking for guests, they'll contact you, and you won't have to. I was going to pay someone to do my little intro. And then, I don't know, out of nowhere, I realized I could do it on Canva. And I was like, okay, let's see. I've never done anything like that before in my life. So there was another sudden change. Um, and it was a lovely kind of like exchange. There's a lot of that's one of the things of Uranus, doing things that we never dreamt that we would be doing. So it was something that I was going to outsource because I didn't think I had the skills. It's technology, isn't it? It comes under technology. So, it's easy to go, oh, I'm not a techie, and just outsource. And I was going to. And then I don't know, it just came to me, well, just have a go on your own. And if it's too tedious, then outsource. We'll see. But my point being that everything you need will come to you because that excitement tells you that it's a divine idea. And it doesn't matter if it brings you in money or not. It doesn't matter if it gets lots of views or not. That stuff doesn't matter. That's the side, that's the byproduct of it all. It's the excitement and the enjoyment of sharing ideas, listening to other people, having the different points of view, reading tarot if that's what floats your boat. Although it won't, my new idea won't only be tarot related. Of course, it will be more the wisdom of tarot and guidance. And I don't know yet. We haven't done it. You'll have to tune in to see what comes out. But anyway, they're the cards for May. It sounds exciting. I think there's some excitement coming in May. And I think these sudden changes are going to happen in the collective, maybe. Communication, there could be, I don't know, power shortages, that's communication. There could be all sorts of things going on in the collective. And it's okay. We don't need to judge. We don't need to have fear. We don't need to have resentment. We can, if it comes into our reality, we can observe it, remember that the observer's judgment of the observed is what defines it. So when you see chaos outside of you, or when you see limitation outside of you, you see something that's not in alignment with divine truth, something that's not balanced in divine truth, something that isn't part of your spiritual awakening. When you observe that, just rise above it and see it as the old paradigm. Just see it as the old paradigm. And that's why it's come into your reality. It's like, that's what I have lived through in the matrix. That's what I'm not living through anymore. I'm not in fear. So it's not going to affect me. If it's affecting people and there's a lot of suffering going on, your heart is wide open with love and compassion. We are not turning a blind eye. We're not putting our head in the sand. Our hearts are open with love and compassion for all of humanity. But it starts with you. It starts with you. That love and compassion that you feel for the animals and the people that are suffering in the world and around you. Can you express that love, that depth of love and compassion to yourself? That's what we're being asked to do in May. And the releasing judgments is such a powerful part of that. Because as I said, when you judge someone or something as being dark or wrong, it puts you in a state of contraction. Whereas if you can just look at it, observe it, and define it in your mind as being, that's the old paradigm, I'm creating the new, then it keeps you in a state of expansion. And that's where you can love the world more deeply. That's where change really occurs, in that depth of love that you honor yourself with. Wow. If you want to know more about that, download this book or buy it. Links in the description. Okay. Remembering who you really are and remembering the power that comes with being who you really are. Yeah, that's what this is about in May. Wow, thank you for getting to the end of the video. I look forward to seeing you in my truth and tarot time. Lots of love to you all. Bye for now.